President Marcos suspends the implementation of the Maharlika Investment Fund pending a review of its transparency and accountability. The first batch of OFWs are back in the Philippines from Israel, but dozens remain along the borders of the war-torn Gaza Strip. Comelec reminds candidates of the do's and don'ts as the campaign season officially begins tomorrow for the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. Fast, focused, and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Denise Tan. President Bongbong Marcos has suspended the implementation of the Maharlika Investment Fund. A memorandum dated October 12 ordered to hold the MIF's implementing rules and regulations. In a separate statement, the Office of the Executive Secretary said Marcos Jr. wanted more time to carefully study the IRR. That's to ensure the fund will go to the country's development and that safeguards are in place for transparency and accountability. The President signed the MIF Act of 2023 back in July. Lawmakers are reacting to the suspension of the Maharlika Investment Fund's implementation. ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro called on President Bongbong Marcos to just scrap the law altogether. For his part, Senator Coco Pimentel welcomed the development, saying the law has a lot of quote defects. Meanwhile, Albay Representative Joey Salceda advised the public not to overthink the move, saying it's well within the President's power to order such suspension. Former President and now House Deputy Speaker Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo agrees.
That the President must have his reasons, and we trust his instincts on this. And I think we have nothing to lose if we support the President in the suspension.
OFW repatriates from Israel have returned to the Philippines this afternoon. There are 17 Filipinos in this batch, 15 of whom are caregivers, 1 a hotel worker and 1 a newborn. They received 15,000 to 20,000 pesos in financial aid from DSWD. They will also get a 15,000 peso livelihood grant under the Sustainable Livelihood Program. However, 78 Filipinos are still stuck in Rafah, the only border crossing that is not controlled by Israel. While the DFA says it's relatively safer for Filipinos to remain there, conditions are getting worse by the day.
Hindi ako magsisinungaling na napakaganda ng situation nila. Hindi po. Kasi border, may balita kaming isang nanay nga kumakain na ng expired bread kasi kulang yung food, no?
Meanwhile, 18 agro-studies graduates have flown back into the Philippines on Tuesday. More than 300 of their colleagues are still in Israel to complete an 11-month agricultural program sponsored by TESDA. We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. Thanks for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. The campaign period begins tomorrow for the barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. And Comelec has these reminders to candidates. They can only spend 5 pesos per registered voter during the campaign period. BSKE bets should also observe the proper size of posters or campaign materials and cannot distribute shirts, ballers, caps, or anything of value to voters. Candidates are also required to submit their statement of contributions and expenditures. The BSKE campaign period will be until October 28, with voting scheduled on October 30. For its part, the Bangko Sentral is warning against possible vote buying and selling through online banking and mobile wallet apps. Moving on to sports, the countdown begins for the new season of the PBA. What can we expect? Here's the story.
Brownlee to the corner, stand the man! Bingo!
The PBA is all set and ready to go for its return to action with the Commissioner's Cup slated on November 5. Out-of-town games will also return in San Jose, Batangas, Iloilo, and Cagayan de Oro. A new rule will also be implemented by the league come the new conference. Clear timeouts are no longer allowed. This means calling of timeouts will now be exclusively at coach's discretion.
Kasi nag-i-evolve ang basketball. So tinitingnan natin kung ano makakabuti sa liga o makakabuti, nakikita natin ng NBA, ganun din naman eh. Pati FIBA, nagbabago-bago, ganun din tayo. Hindi ko naman sinasabing eto na to, for this season, eto na to. Pero for next season, pwede natin palitan, pwede natin tanggalin yung hindi maganda para sa liga. So nag-i-evolve din tayo.
TV5 President and CEO Guido Zaballero also announced that PBA games will now be aired live on free-to-air channel A to Z. This was done as part of the PBA and TV5's commitment to bring in new audiences for Asia's first Pro Hoops League. Once the league tips off next month, fans can watch the PBA on A to Z every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Weekday games air at 4 and 8 p.m., while weekend games are at 3 and 6:15 p.m. Discussions are underway for other PBA properties to be shown on A to Z, like the PBA D-League and 3x3. Signal TV remains as a PBA's official pay TV broadcast partner.
We believe the PBA really needs a dedicated home. And we saw the possibilities with Zoe. Coming from yung strategy meeting that Sir Ricky talked about, to continue to build the PBA. If we have a dedicated home for the PBA, then we'll be able to feature more of the games in the future. So pati na po yung 3x3 tsaka esports.
The Commissioner's Cup will open with a bang as the most recent champions TNT Tropang Giga will face off against the Magnolia Hotshots. That will take place at the Smart Araneta Coliseum at 7 p.m. R. Pogoy will not be a part of the lineup for TNT as he continues to recover from his heart issue, while Mikey Williams is also off the initial list. Former NBA players Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Tyler Bay will serve as imports for TNT and Magnolia. One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News, all sides, all the time.